What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Gooner channel, a channel 100% dedicated to the Arsenal, who, as we all know, are by far the greatest team the world has ever seen. And tonight finished Arsenal 2, Sevilla 0. Not a lot to say about this, really. Let's be honest, Sevilla were absolutely dreadful. Nothing at all going forward. Their first meaningful shot on target came after the 90th minute. Never looked like we were going to concede. There was a point when we went 1-0 up, and look, first of all, Jorginho with an absolute masterclass today. A much slower paced game. The Champions League obviously suits him, but he was imperious, and his through ball to Saka, which that Saka then squared for Trossard, arguably our most clinical player, and he wasn't going to miss from just in front of goal. But the ball to Saka from Jorginho was wonderful. Saka was back to his best. Martinelli was running his fullback ragged. Rolls-Royce, what can you say about this guy? He is the engine that's got us purring. And even though we didn't get out of second gear, we've got a smooth ride to qualify for the next round. We need 1 point from the next two games, realistically. And we've still got PSV away and Lens at home. And I think you've got to say that we've done the job that we needed to do. And after a week that's had us down in the dumps, we had a really bad performance against West Ham where we just didn't click at all, and they scored with every shot they took. And then, of course, we had the controversy over what should have been a draw against Newcastle. But this was the game that put the smiles back on our faces. Saka with the second goal stayed onside beautifully, ran, cut inside, scored with his left foot. Great to see him back on the score sheet. Very few negatives. Going into this match, I wanted to see Zinchenko play in midfield. I kind of got my wish when he replaced Tomiyasu at the start of the second half. He did initially come on in that left back, but by the end of the game, he was really playing in that 8 midfield position, and I think he looked really good there. Great passing. But, you know, I keep coming back to this. The player of the season so far, a bargain, £105 million player, Rolls-Royce. I think there was a point in the first half where he hadn't put a pass astray. He looks like he can play anywhere. He was tried in that 8 position. He spoke after the game, said he prefers to play 6. But I think this is just about development. He definitely has the skills to play almost anywhere in midfield. Trossard up front instead of Eddie Nketiah. Trossard wasn't that busy, but he did give us something else. Of course, finished clinically for the first goal, but also just involving other players. Maybe what he really gives you, as I said before the match, is a bit more Jesus-like, because you never know where he's going to be. And although he wasn't quite as involved as I'd have liked, he certainly took his goal well. Kai Havertz, he had a terrible missed header in the first half. Came really close to scoring an absolute belter in the second. Again, you know, you've got to say when Odegaard's fit, and he was only a doubt for this game, so it's likely that he'll be fit again for Burnley. But when he does come back, obviously you would expect Kai Havertz to go onto the bench. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. I'm sick of people talking about £65 million. Doesn't matter what he cost. We hopefully have a player for 4 years that can develop and play across positions. There was a lot to love about this game. There was a moment from Saliba where he put the afterburners on and came back defensively. And even though Sevilla didn't offer much, you have to give a lot of credit to our defence. I don't think you can argue that we're not clicking like we did at the start of last season. The start of last season was amazing, though, and it would be hard to repeat that regularly. But this season, we definitely look more solid and very difficult to break down. We absolutely strangled the life out of this game. And even though, you know, at 1-0, you've always got to be a bit concerned, by 2-0, it was really over. And I had one eye on the Man United game. So, only other thing I want to say is at the Emirates, with about 5 minutes to go, it's kind of embarrassing to see so many empty seats. Now, look, don't get me wrong. I know the Holloway Road can be congested. It can take you hours to get home if the game doesn't finish till 10 and you've got work next day. I get it. But, guys, come on. You know, stick it out to the end. Give the team the round of applause they need. I'm absolutely delighted that we've put an end to the 2 defeats. We have Burnley at 3 o'clock on Saturday. I really feel like we're going to give them another lesson with Martinelli. And hopefully, I know Saka went off injured. Arteta said afterwards it was just a knock. I think that's more precautionary. Certainly when Reece Nelson came on, he really didn't do anything at all. He's probably one of the worst performances of the game. But everybody else comes out of that with a lot of credit. And like I said, we need 1 point from the remaining 2 games to qualify for the next round. And that's when it gets really interesting over 2 legs. And that's where Arteta's really going to be tested against potentially some of the bigger clubs in Europe. And I, for one, am excited about it. But the real business this season has to be the Premier League. We're still in touch. I know we've had the disappointing Newcastle defeat, so we're not going to be invincible again this season. But we have a good run of games coming up. And, you know, looking at it with the games the City have got, Tottenham have got, Liverpool have got, and we've got, I would imagine we'd be second after the next 4 games, a point behind Man City, and very much in touch for another great charge at the title this season. Arsenal 2, Sevilla 0. Come on, you Gunners! Love to know what you thought of the game. Let me know if there's anything I missed talking about that really that you noticed in the comments below. If you haven't yet, hit subscribe. And till I see you again, be lucky. Lots of love.